Hey guys, Horror Man back for another review. So today we're going to take a look at the Michael Myers Halloween 112 collective figure. Now this is made by Mezco Toyz and it's part of their ongoing 112 collective line. So just taking a look at the packaging here, you can see it has the Halloween, just the basically Halloween logo. It says Michael Myers at the top with these like lines going next to his name. 112 collective pose play display. It says the same thing on top. On the side you get a really cool Halloween picture, pretty much the same logo they've used for years. It says Mezco Toyz at the bottom, by collectors for collectors. Same thing on the side. On the bottom just says age 18 and up, not for children. Couple other different logos and warnings, and then onto the back you get this really cool image of basically images of what's in the box. So some pretty cool imagery from Mezco here. Now the whole thing does have like this plastic film, so it's not just the camera that's making it look like that, it's this plastic that's right over top of the packaging. Alright, so once you slide this slip cover off, you can see the figure underneath. And you can't see the body like clearly just because it's got this plastic over top of it kind of protecting it, but you can see all the accessories inside. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box and have a closer look. Alright, so once you get the Myers box out of the regular packaging, you do get a couple different layers of different inner packaging here. So it's basically 3 different layers. The bottom layer, when you take that off, you're going to have your additional head in there, which is basically going to be the Myers head with like the sheet attached. You have your 112 collective plastic bag just to store all the accessories, and then you have pieces of the figure stand, and then when you peel back the outer clamshell, that's when you'll actually get to the figure, and then you can see he has the stand in the back, the all the different accessories basically all ready to be taken out of the package. Alright, so you do get multiple accessories with this Michael Myers figure. We'll go ahead and start with the stand. And then you can see you just have the Halloween on the front here, and then you have the basic Halloween movie logo. We have the Michael Myers hand with the kitchen knife, and then the carved Halloween pumpkin all lit up. So pretty cool looking. Definitely has like a texture to it. Feels kind of like a sticker, but I think it actually might be painted on. It's a little hard to tell. But pretty cool looking stand, and you can use this 2 ways. You can either use it with just the one peg and put that into the bottom of the foot, or you can push out that peg from the bottom like so, and then once you remove that peg you can put this arm in here. So if you want to do some kind of flight pose or have just a little bit more grip on your figure to do some kind of different pose, you could do that with this arm. So pretty cool looking Mezco stand. And here is Michael Myers. Check this out. Very cool looking figure here. Alright, so I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing so far, but let's go ahead and get a closer look at that head sculpt. Alright, so just taking a closer look at that head sculpt, really liking what I'm seeing here. You can definitely see that, shape mask is captured really well here. I do like the hair detail, how it kind of is like, nice and combed back a little bit. They managed to make sure to remove those sideburns from that original Captain Kirk mask, so you can see that there. It's got some line work. It almost looks like it's intentional because of the mask, like the mold or something like that. I do like how they have like the cheekbones and the kind of like the forehead area really sculpted, just like the mask is. He's got that blank expression in his face. Just really nice detail. But just that hair work is just better than I expected it to be. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now his eyes, the mask is set to where the face is farther back, so it's hard to see his eyes, and I think that's perfect but if you do get close enough or get it in the right lighting, you can definitely see that he does have eyes that will show up there. So pretty cool, and again, like that blank expression in his face. But yeah, in like this type of lighting, you can't see his eyes, and it's just perfect. And while we're looking at the head sculpt, we'll go ahead and just start with the first accessory, which you actually do get an interchangeable head. Now the interchangeable head is basically going to be, it almost feels like one of those old mask figures where it's kind of got these front and back flaps, and then also the head sculpt. But you have these glasses on here, which is cool, and he's got the sheet on. And this is just like from the first movie, in one of the scenes where he does put a sheet over his head, and the victim that he killed, he basically puts his glasses over top of the sheet after he cuts holes for the eyes. So it basically disguises him to sneak in and kill his next victim. So let's go ahead and try and interchange the head on here. If you just kind of pull up this sheet, you can see where the neck piece is. You can't really see much any other detail underneath that aside from that. So you're just going to go ahead and take off the head, and it seems to pop off pretty good there. And then you just go ahead and put that sheet over top and line it up the best you can. Alright, so once you get the interchangeable head sculpt on, it should look something like this. And I think they've done a really good job with this. I like how it's not just like a straight, clean, like, sheet. It's got some folds in it, and it's just like, it lays really, really nice. Even in the back, you can see it's got like different folds in it, and really just comes off very real. So I think they've just done an excellent job in capturing what he looks like when he puts this sheet on. And I do like how the glasses look. You got the little eye holes cut out and everything. Now if you get close enough, it's still a little tough to see, but you can kind of see some eyes there maybe, but it's creepy enough to where you really don't, you almost don't want to. So just really cool idea with this head sculpt. Alright, just looking over the rest of the body here, it's pretty much what you would expect in a standard Michael Myers figure. He's got his blue jumpsuit, like work jumpsuit on. He's just got a little black shirt on underneath of that. And then he just has those work boots. And these are done really well. They are sculpted, of course. You can see the different treads on the bottom of the boots there. And they're not just like one color. You get a little bit of brown and some tan in there. So pretty nice looking, and you can even see where like the different strings are. And then the outfit itself is just really well tailored. It fits very tight to the skin, but it's not too tight. It definitely gives them just a little bit of bagginess to it. But you can see, I mean, it is just really well tailored. And it's, I mean, I've had other figures with like fabric outfits, but this is definitely the best tailored one I've seen to date. But all the different stitching and pockets on the front, the back, just really well done, just super impressive. Almost like a shrunken down Hot Toys. Alright, so one thing I'm really excited about with this figure is articulation. It's one thing that we really haven't seen much in many Michael Myers figures, especially any in this scale. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. The head can move pretty far down, and then he can look pretty far up, and then he can rotate the head all the way around if you want. And most importantly, he does have a pivot for his head, so he can get that really Michael Myers emotions going there. So great articulation in the head. And then the arms can go all the way out about that far. They can go down about that far. And they can go up pretty good. Far enough anyway. Back. Now the one thing about this figure is I'm really having a hard time finding the elbows in this outfit, but he does seem to have really good range in the elbow. I can't tell if it's a double hinge or not, but he does have pretty good range. And the wrist does move pretty good. You can twist it any way you really need to. Doesn't move as good up and down, side to side. You have to kind of play with it a little bit and get that joint rotated just right. He can move a little bit at the torso at the top here, but there's nothing in the ab crunch area or waist swivel. He can move his leg about that far, move his knee that far, so it looks like he does have a double joint there. You can go back a little bit farther with the leg, splits about that much before you could split a seam in those pants. And then the feet can rotate, they can go up and down, and you do have ankle pivot. So definitely the best articulation we've seen in a Michael Myers in this scale. Alright, so besides the interchangeable head and the action figure stand, you do get some other accessories here. Starting off with the hands, you do get a couple sets of relaxed or choking hands. And the detail on here is pretty good. Some of the different hands actually have a little bit of like blood splatter on them, and you can see this is one of those hands. So I like that they've done that to kind of like switch it up. And then you also get a set of these gripping hands. Now with the gripping hands, you have one that's a little bit more of a regular gripping hand, and the other one has like the thumb sticking out just a little bit more, kind of like a pinching hand. And then you also get a set of fist. And again, you can see a little bit of that blood splatter on there. So yeah, that's all the hands you get, including the hands that he has in the package. And then you also get 2 different kitchen knives, which is his main weapon of choice in pretty much all or most all movies. And you basically get this non-bloody knife, and then you get this bloody knife. I think the detail is pretty good in both of them. Looks pretty good. I'll probably mainly use the bloody one. My regular one has just a little bit of a flaw, so it's like a paint chip. Alright, and then the final accessory is the Judith Myers Gravestone, which is seen in the, I guess, the climax of the movie. And it just says, "Our beloved daughter, Judith Myers," and then her born and died date. And for the final accessory, you get the Michael Myers Halloween pumpkin. And this is a really crucial accessory, so it really is something you gotta show on its own. And I like all the sculpted detail in here. It's got that classic Halloween pumpkin carved out face. So I definitely like that. I like the different carved effects. Just it looks like a pumpkin. So pretty cool, and you can see that the top even is carved out. Now, as much as I like this, it was a real pain in the butt to get these batteries in, so you will have to have some patience in doing that. Now, to actually get this to work, you're just going to want to take this lid off, and you can see it just kind of wiggles off. Now, if you look at this lid, there's a specific cutout in the center here, and when you go to put this back, you really want to make sure to match this upright. So there's a little bit of like a sculpted detail here. You just want to try to line that up with that middle cutout, and then that's how you get this back on. If you don't get it back on that way, it's not going to go on at all. So there is a little on-off switch, and you can see how small that battery compartment is. They do give you the batteries, which is nice, but you're going to have to put it in yourself, so it's it's a bit of a task. You're just going to hit that on switch, and then the pumpkin itself will light up. And again, you want to put that lid back on like so, and then it should just snap right in. And then you can see how it flickers a little bit, which is nice. And it does show up much better when you turn the lights off, so check that out. It's not just going to be, a standard light. It actually flickers, which is a really nice effect, and it really does make it look like there's a candle inside. So really cool accessory. Great job on this. So interchanging the hands pretty easy. It actually has a really nice interchangeable system, so you just go ahead and grip that. Pops off there pretty easy. You have the hole in the hand, peg remains in the body, just pops right in. And I can do it on camera, which is always good, so very easy. And then the blade itself, if you want to, want them to wield the kitchen knife, easily goes in the hand. He gets a very firm grip, and then you can even flex the hand to even put that blade in. So really, really nice job on Mezco. All right, and then here he is with the gravestone. Now, in the movie itself, he actually does steal the gravestone, and this Mezco figure actually can hold the gravestone on its own. So I don't have any figure stand here. That's actually him holding it, and it's actually got some weight to this gravestone. So gives you a little bit of an idea of how stable this figure is. All right, so for the first comparison, here's the Mezco 112 Michael Myers next to the Mezco Toyz Michael Myers. And wow, look at the scale difference between these two. Now, this Michael Myers is in 7-inch scale, whereas this Mezco Michael Myers is in 6-inch scale. However, even NECA sculpted this Michael Myers just a little taller than they probably should have. Nick Castle's only 5'10", so this is a really big figure. And here he is next to the Mezco Toyz Dr. Loomis. Here he is next to the Trick or Treat Sam and the Child's Play Chucky. Here he is next to the 1987 toon version of Raphael from Ninja Turtles. And you can see that this NECA scale actually looks pretty good with this Michael Myers, as this is more of a 6-inch scale. Here he is next to the Mezco Toyz Jason from Friday the 13th Part 4 and Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And for the last NECA comparison, here he is next to the Friday the 13th Part 5 Roy, and you can see they definitely have a similar interest in clothing. I would really like to see a Michael Myers in this style, so hopefully we'll get that soon. And here he is next to the 112 Collective New York Comic Con exclusive Wolverine in his tiger stripe outfit and the custom Punisher figure. And you can see that Michael Myers is a little bit taller than both of these, and I definitely like that scale difference. Here he is next to the McFarlane Toys Pumpkinhead figure. And for the final comparison, here he is next to the Mafex Dark Knight Trilogy Scarecrow figure. And then you can see that the, Mezco series definitely has a pretty good size difference over the Mafex line, at least for the Dark Knight trilogy. Alright, so that's my review of the Mezco 112 Michael Myers Halloween figure. And I am very impressed with this figure. I'm so happy that it actually turned out like I hoped. These figures aren't cheap. They're, $80 to $100 shipped, so it's definitely an investment. Even if you're a collector, it's hard not to say it's not an investment, because they really are expensive. So it's not something you just go in the store and just pick up and throw on the shelf. You really do want to make sure you pick a figure or a character that you really like and that you want, immortalized into a little bit higher end figure. And I think that's what you have here. But with Michael Myers, you really can't buy any cheap figures. The old NECA ones are very expensive. The old Mezco ones are very expensive. So in hindsight, this is actually the cheapest Michael Myers figure out there. So even though it kind of starts off expensive, it's not nearly as expensive as all the other ones are now. So I think that kind of helps maybe for some people that are on the fence about getting this, because I would highly recommend getting this figure. If you're a Michael Myers fan or a Halloween fan, or you just like horror collectibles, this is definitely one you're going to want. The lighted pumpkin is really cool. I love how it flickers. The overall costume on this Michael Myers, the outfit, is just really top quality. The tailoring of the outfit is just perfect. And I think they've done a really good job in capturing the look of Michael Myers in part 1. I'm just overall really happy with this figure. If there's one drawback, if you have been collecting the NECA lines or even the older Mezco figures of the horror stuff, they're not going to scale with those figures. It's really not going to scale well at all. So it's going to be more for your 112 collection or any 6-inch scale collection that will basically fit good next to it. So it's not going to fit with everything, but if you're interested in collecting this line, Mezco is making some more horror figures like Jason, Clockwork Orange is even getting some figures. So, maybe you'll have eventually some kind of Mezco horror line in the 112s, and I think that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for my review. I appreciate everybody watching. Sorry for the delay in doing reviews lately. Unfortunately, my father passed recently, and I've kind of taken a break from social media a little bit. So thanks for watching my review. Please subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask me. And I should have some more reviews coming soon. So until next time, guys. See ya.